Weston Baptist Chapel. Thank you for joining us as we continue our journey down the Via Dolorosa. Today we pick up in Matthew chapter 10, beginning at verse number 1. Jesus called his 12 disciples together and gave them authority to cast out evil spirits and to heal every kind of disease and illness. Here are the names of the 12 apostles. First, Simon, also called Peter, then Andrew, Peter's brother, James, son of Zebedee, John, James's brother, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew, the tax collector, James, son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, Judas Iscariot, who later betrayed him. Jesus sent out the 12 apostles with these instructions. Don't go to the Gentiles or the Samaritans, but only to the people of Israel, God's lost sheep. Go and announce to them that the kingdom of heaven is near. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cure those with leprosy, and cast out demons. Give as freely as you have received. Don't take any money in your money belts, no gold, silver, or even copper coins. Don't carry a traveler's bag with a change of clothes and sandals, or even a walking stick. Don't hesitate to accept hospitality, because those who work deserve to be fed. Whenever you enter a city or village, search for a worthy person and stay in his home until you leave. When you enter the home, give it your blessing. If it turns out to be a worthy home, let your blessing stand. If it is not, take back the blessing. If any household or town refuses to welcome you or listen to your message, shake its dust from your feet as you leave. I tell you the truth, the wicked cities of Sodom and Gomorrah will be better off than such a town on the judgment day. Jesus sent out his followers several times. This time, it was only to the people in the Jewish villages. Jesus sent them to people just like them. This is the easiest group of people to share with. They show us how to reach out to our own people, and here it is. Release the truths of God's kingdom to everyone. Pray for everyone with needs, big needs or small needs. Do it free of charge. They will help us and provide for our needs along the way. The Jewish people knew that this is expected of them. This requires that we know God's kingdom truths, that we have God's power available to us, and we have the boldness to share both with others. Knowing God's kingdom truth takes work. I have been sharing them with you, but we need to know them as well. God's power is available to all his children, but it requires an obedient heart before God entrusts it to us. So be diligent to know kingdom truth. Be obedient to this truth. Expect God to release his power to bless others, and then use them boldly. This is how to reach out to our world. We know now why it is so hard to reach out boldly. We need to learn his truths and walk in obedience. That takes so much diligent work. However, it is such a challenge for many of us because we are careless at studying and careless at obedience. We need his forgiveness. We need him to give us a heart that seeks simple obedience to truth that he reveals to us. His truths are not complicated, but they do take diligence. His truths are not a long list of things to learn, but they do take effort. We need him to strengthen us today to walk in them so we can release blessing on our world. Let's continue reading, picking up at verse number 11. Whenever you enter a city or a village, search for a worthy person and stay in his home until you leave town. When you enter the home, give it your blessing. If it turns out to be a worthy home, let your blessing stand. If it is not, take back the blessing. If any household or town refuses to welcome you or listen to your message, shake its dust from your feet as you leave. I tell you the truth, the wicked cities of Sodom and Gomorrah will be better off than such a town on the judgment day. When we share Jesus, what do? First of all, release God's peace into people and situations. We can be wrong, that is okay. God's peace does not stay there, but it leaves with us. When people allow God's peace to change them, then they are blessed abundantly. Jesus is also clear about this though. When people reject Jesus and his peace, there are consequences. First, it removes God's blessing for whole towns and communities and families. That is a sobering thought. Second, if we are in a community of people and we follow Jesus, then we protect that community. Third, when no one is there, God's protection and blessing is limited. How can we be a source of peace and blessing to a community? This can be in our community and families, or it can be any community that does not have this blessing. We have walked by people today that have no one in their community that are following Jesus. We need to want to see that community have someone who follows them. We may not know their language, but we need to pray. We need to pray for the door to open for him to bring his peace to that community of people. Let's continue reading, picking up in verse 16. Look, I am sending you out as sheep among wolves. So be as shrewd as snakes and harmless as doves. But beware, for you will be handed over to the courts and will be flogged with whips in the synagogues. You will stand trial before governors and kings because you are my followers. But this will be your opportunity to tell the rulers and other unbelievers about me. When you are arrested, don't worry about how to respond or what to say. God will give you the right words at the right time, for it is not you who will be speaking, it will be the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Do we really trust the Holy Spirit? Do we trust him when we face attacks from people? Do we trust him to give us the words we need when we face impossible situations? Do we trust him to be with us in the midst of persecution? The Holy Spirit is always with the children of God. His strength is our strength. His wisdom is our wisdom. So let us purpose our hearts today that whatever comes our way, we will listen carefully to his voice and do and speak as he directs. It does not mean we will avoid every problem, but it does mean we are in good hands whenever we face them. Sometimes the storms seem bigger than his presence. Sometimes the problems and attacks we face make us question whether we did something wrong and he did not come with us. He has placed his Spirit within us and promised us he would never leave. We need to strengthen our hearts today with whatever we face, and we need him to give us his peace, his words, his heart for every person, his understanding, and his wisdom. Thank you for joining us, and join us tomorrow as we continue down the Via Dolorosa. God bless.